Hello EFD squad and welcome back to the Euro Roundup, your favourite European roundup show ever, period. I'm joined by Patrick van Straan. Why wouldn't I be? What a man. Let's dive straight into our first winners this week, Pato. We go to Ligue 1, where PSG thrashed a bunch of grape farmers.
There are some great farmers who've won World Cups, mate. Andres Iniesta, Andrea Pirlo, and also, is it grape farmer? Is that the term? Is it not viticulturalist or something?
Move on.
Do they have wine in Leicester?
Yes, Echo Falls.
A bit of Jacob's Creek. Anyway, all eyes were of course on Neymar, 200 million quid. And did PSG get their money? Yeah, it kind of looks like they're going to. It was a bit of a drab first half, 0-0. But he was kind of trying to force the issue. You saw that everybody could feel the pressure of the occasion. But you look at that squad, it was outrageous. Motta, Rabiot, Verratti in front of them, Di Maria, Cavani, Neymar, and the Brazilian was absolutely outrageous in the second half. After PSG got the lead through this hilariously bad own goal from John Ikoko rather. Don't know why I said that. Just everyone's Jordan Lukaku this week. Anyway, Neymar's stats: 128 touches of the ball, heavily involved in play, 6 shots, 11 successful dribbles, and 7 key passes.
Insane.
One of those was an insane pass for Cavani's opener, who of course returned the favour later on. Goal and assist on his debut. Is he going to have to do that every game of the season if he wants to win the Ballon d'Or? Are they going to have to win the Champions League?
You'd imagine so, given the strength of opposition and given how good the likes of Isco, Asensio, Ronaldo and Messi have looked at the start of the season. But yes, back to the game in hand. Cavani looked bright as usual, Pato, putting 4 of his 6 shots on target, with a 90% pass completion rate. He linked up well with Neymar on the left-hand side, actually moving out to the left to accommodate the Brazilian down the centre, much like he did for Zlatan Ibrahimovic in that side. So yet again, the Uruguayan is the bridesmaid in PSG's starting 11. Wouldn't say that to his face.
He's massive.
The guy looks rougher than a badger's arse. But yes, one player who I didn't think had the greatest afternoon was Angel Di Maria. He looked well off the pace and might be looking over his shoulder when Julian Draxler returns to the fold. They've got stars to come back to that 4-3-3. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Yes, the Argentine didn't manage a single key pass in that game and only put 2 of his 6 shots on target, so pretty wasteful. But I doubt Unai Emery will be overly bothered at this point. His side have won 2 for 2, one of only 4 sides to have done so. And Monaco, if they lose Mbappe, they will be significantly weakened, won't they? So they look to be in a good position at the start of this season. Will PSG win the league though, guys, or will Jardin's men run them close yet again, or even clinch it yet again? Let us know in the comments below.
Our first loser of the week comes courtesy of @Lord_Gbust. The underscore is important to separate him from our Lord and Saviour. Jesus Christ. Anyway, he says that Ajax should be in our losers after a horrific fortnight for the Amsterdam team.
Yes, they have had a stinky couple of weeks. First exiting the Champions League at the qualifying round to Lucien Favre's Nice. What an unfortunate tie that was.
That is rough.
And then they lost to Heracles 2-1 for the first time in 52 years. The last time the Almelo side beat them was in 1965, and that was a 1-0 scoreline. Bit of history there for you. Now, I've got down here, interestingly, both sides are named after ancient Greek heroes. I mean, that is wholly subjective, and you wrote the script.
What's subjective?
And you did a classics degree, whether that's interesting or not.
That's definitely interesting. What are you talking about?
Why is it?
Because it is fascinating. Like, why are 2 clubs in the Netherlands named after ancient Greek heroes? One after Heracles, of course, the demigod of yore, and the other after after Ajax, it's pronounced, who was I presume the son of Telamon, but there were 2 Ajaxes.
My only exposure to all of this was Age of Empires mythology, which was a great
What about
great
horrible
game.
histories? What's the matter with you?
Yeah, also fantastic. But on to the game in hand, where Ajax had 29 shots to Heracles 14, but the shot on target count was only 11-8, and 9 of Heracles' shots actually came from inside the box. That is far too high, Pato, for a team that's supposed to be at the top end of the league table. And perhaps it was helped by the absence of star centre-back Davinson Sanchez, who's been linked with a big money move to Spurs. Now, the Colombian apparently refused to play because the club rejected a 35 million bid from Spurs, as aforementioned. Do you think that is a fair price?
In this current market, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, like, he's a big guy, he's 21 years old, he's fast, he's a good passer as well. And we know that Pochettino is very good at developing defenders. If he was sold for that price, though, he would be Ajax's record sale ever.
Really?
Above Arkadiusz Milik, who is currently 29 mil last season, and obviously above Luis Suarez, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Wesley Sneijder, Dennis Bergkamp, Clarence Seedorf, Huntelaar, who of course has now returned to the club, came on as a sub, little cameo, but was a little bit ineffective. Now Marcel Kaiser is the new manager of Ajax. He's been promoted from managing the youth side, that's young Ajax, after Peter Bosz left for Dortmund. He's now drawn 2, those were the Nice games, and lost 1 of his 3 competitive matches in charge of the club. It's not amazing.
Bit rough.
Is it? But there was one bright spot. Of course, David Klaassen has left for Everton, and 20-year-old Donny van de Beek has come into the team, and he was impressive in this match. Okay. 2 tackles, 1 interception, 4 shots, 3 of those from inside the box, and created 5 chances. Now, for a midfielder, that's pretty damn impressive. By comparison, Hakim Ziyech, who we think of as the kind of star creator in that Ajax side, created just 1 chance. So Van de Beek may have a big
They'll need a goal
scoring
midfielder, right, to replace David Klaassen's output.
Yeah, well, of course, they've got Ziyech. You know, they played Lasse Schöne there as well, and they've got to hope that Van de Beek can produce something, or that Huntelaar maybe fills in up front and produces those goals as well. But how do you think Ajax are going to do this season? Will they be able to win the league, or won't they? Let us know in the comments below.
Our next winner comes from @WalkerAbeer, and he thinks Real Madrid should be in there after they ran out 3-1 winners at the Nou Camp in the Supercopa. First leg, Pato, what did you think?
I thought it was rubbish at first.
Yeah.
The first half was dreadful. And actually, by the end of the game, both sides had lost the ball more than 20 times.
Wow.
They were just turning over possession for fun. It was incredibly sloppy. And it very much looked like the first game of the season. I saw Toni Kroos put 3 passes off target in a row.
Yeah.
And I thought that he'd had a stroke.
I thought he was going to sub himself off.
I had no idea what was going on with him. He must have been livid with himself. But anyway, the second half, it all went back crazy. Suarez won a penalty. Ronaldo came on as a sub, scored, and then got sent off. And Asensio scored on another competitive debut. He's now done it in 5 competitions for Real Madrid. The kid cannot stop.
The goal was an absolute scorchio as well.
He cannot stop doing it. Any shot he has from outside the box goes in. He's unbelievable at it. Is he the best long-range shooter in the world at the moment?
I mean, I'd be inclined to say so after I saw his goals at the Under-21 Championship, where he scored a couple of absolute bangers. I mean, when Ronaldo scored his goal, I accidentally pelted Yoga up the wall. And I was spooning Yoga.
Is that a euphemism?
It's not, but it would have been a good one.
Okay.
I was spooning Yoga off the wall when Asensio scored his. I just dropped my spoon. I just threw the towel in. Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, it was quite eye-catching celebration for Cristiano Ronaldo, wasn't it? He did the little Messi shirt thing. So we want to know from you, who did it better, Messi or Ronaldo? Let us know in the poll just up there. Now, Ronaldo was actually making his 396th appearance for the club. Mouthful. That equaled the number of appearances that club legend Alfredo Di Stefano made. And he's actually scored 100 goals more. So, to be fair, Di Stefano sort of played all over the park. Go back and watch some highlights of him if you want to see an absolute masterclass. But Isco was giving the masterclass in this game. Man of the match, 4 dribbles, 3 key passes. Alex Vidal will not know which way is up after that game.
Twisted him in a knot.
He had no idea what was going on at all. And then there were 2 right backs on the bench. Alex Vidal must be a little bit sad that he got the nod ahead of Sergio Roberto and Nelson Semedo. But anyway, a losing start for Ernesto Valverde, and he's the first Barca manager since Luis Aragonés to lose his first match in charge.
And that was about 30 years ago. But looking at the 2 benches, Pato, I'd say the odds were stacked against Valverde from the very get-go. And this could be an extremely long season for the Blaugrana if reinforcements aren't brought in. I mean, Real Madrid, we just take a look at their bench. And it highlights this significant difference in terms of strength and depth. Real Madrid bring on Ronaldo, Asensio, even Vasquez, who made 50 appearances last season, albeit 30 as sub. Barca bring on Denis Suarez, Sergio Roberto. It's very underwhelming, isn't it, when you're chasing a game like they were.
Arsenal had a better bench than that at the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. But regardless of that, it was actually a senior member of the first team who gave Los Blancos the initiative when Piqué scored that unfortunate own goal after the ball was whipped in from the left-hand side and it looped over the oncoming Ter Stegen. Now, Barca, Again, odds stacked against them prior to this because they've only beaten Real Madrid once in their previous 6 encounters in the Supercopa. Wow. So not prolific in this competition by any means. And Piqué's own goal and Ronaldo and Asensio's absolute stunners mean that Real Madrid have now scored in 67 consecutive matches.
Whoa.
They are goal-scoring machines. However, their last clean sheet was against Barcelona some 20 games ago. So
not ideal.
They're like the Brazil of the classic mould. Their only ethos is just to outscore people. Although Zidane is now the first manager in Real Madrid's history to go unbeaten in 3 away ties at the Nou Camp.
Jesus Christ, really?
He's setting all sorts of records,
that's
isn't he?
genuinely amazing.
Zidane sets very niche records,
I'm really impressed by that, though. That's an interesting fact.
Dug that one out.
The first interesting fact in ERU history.
Yeah. I have one more stellar fact for you, which will leave your jaw on the floor, my friend. Ronaldo, in his 11th game at the Camp Nou in El Clasicos, has scored 11 goals, which, if Twitter is led to believe, is 1 more than Lionel Messi. He's calling bull. Can you validate it? Let us know in the comments below.
Our next losers are Borussia Dortmund. I don't know why. Hamill, explain to me.
Well, this one comes from Vintage Montari on Twitter, Pato. And despite beating Minnow... Yeah, niche. Very niche. No competition for that handle. Despite beating Minnow's Reislingen, not sure how to pronounce that, 4-0 in their DFB Pokal first round tie, Dortmund are our next losers of the week. As you said, well, why? I hear you all cry at the screen. And that is because they've had to suspend club star Ousmane Dembele after heavy interest / a rejected bid from Barcelona has led to disciplinary issues with the winger. He went AWOL from a training session on Thursday and was subsequently fined and will now even sit out the club's opener against Wolfsburg on the 19th. He's going to be training on his own in the interim as well. That was reported by Vodska and Zorc. Now, he signed a 5-year deal in 2016, so has plenty of time left to run on his contract. The club are in a strong position. And Zorc has also said, he's the club director, has also said a move away is unlikely at this moment in time.
I do not believe him. And I'll tell you for why. After that rejected bid happened, we were reading in the office the statement that Dortmund made, and it definitely sounded like, we're not selling him at the moment, we're not selling him for this price, but we will sell him.
For that price.
Like, they haven't yet submitted a bid which we think is, you know, commensurate with his value in the current market, blah, blah, blah. And it was just one of those ones that was like, give us more money and we'll sell him to you.
Yeah, they're strong arming them.
You can understand why, though, because he got 10 goals in 49 appearances last season, but he was actually a real star. He got more assists than Neymar in the league, 12 to Neymar's 11. He's one of Europe's premier dribblers. He's absolutely outrageous on the ball, can beat pretty much anyone in the world. Great creator, can get on the end of goals as well. I mean, he really is the complete package. And of course, he's so very young. I mean, look, if he goes, the club might have to play Andre Schürrle and Maximilian Philippe in those wide areas, because as much as we all rate Christian Pulisic, and we all do, he is 18 and a 50-game season is often a real problem for people at that age. It's so physically demanding. Last year, Pulisic only made 14 starts. As good as he is, it's a huge ask for him to step up fitness-wise. But as always, Dortmund are doing good business. They've brought in Omer Toprak and Mahmoud Dahoud for a combined 20 million euros. That's absolutely outrageous. But if Dembele were to go, even Dortmund might struggle to find a replacement good enough for the club.
What are Leverkusen doing selling defenders, by the way? They were trash at defending last year. Now they've sold Toprak.
Yeah, but they also seem to burn bridges with every defender. Like, do you remember Sparhic, like supposedly beating up a kit man or something at the club, and they had to cut him? So I don't know what it is, what's going on at Leverkusen. They've also managed to burn bridges with Kevin Camp, who's going to leave as well. So this must be music to the ears of Dortmund, who of course need to have a big campaign after only coming in third last season. If they were to let Dembele go, who could they get and who should they go for? We really want to know from you, because we genuinely don't know who can replace his output. But will he go to Barcelona as well? Let us know that too. Comments below, you know the drill.
Our final winners come courtesy of Ashley Fords on Twitter, and he thinks Lazio deserve a shout out for beating Juventus in the Supercoppa Italia final. Give me a breakdown of the game.
Yeah, Lazio won 3-2 in this match thanks to a 93rd minute winner from 21-year-old homegrown midfielder Alessio Murcia. Now, Lazio had actually taken a 2-goal lead earlier in this game. Gianluigi Buffon gave away a penalty, which Ciro Immobile scored, and then Immobile added another from a header just after half-time. But with 5 minutes to go, what should happen but Paulo Dybala? He produced a one-man comeback. He scored a penalty, scored a free kick. He's now got 7 in 8 against the Biancocelesti. But it all fell to Murgia. He's a Lazio Academy graduate. He's a Roman native. He popped up in stoppage time to bring the trophy home to Rome. I mean, it's really exciting stuff. Like this is like when Locatelli announced himself to Milan fans, and it's really fun to see a young player kind of announcing himself to the city as a potential star.
Yeah, as much as Tottenham fans love Harry Kane for being one of their own, Italian fans, particularly in Rome, they idolise players who come through the youth ranks and break into that first team and make an impression, don't they? Dybala's free kick, by the way, absolutely insane. How he's got that round the wall is beyond me. Definitely go and check that out, guys. It was an absolute beauty. But Lazio, prior to this, hadn't scored against Juve in 7 games. And Juve were actually unbeaten in 14 matches going into this. Now, pundits will focus on the absence of Bonucci, but Juve played a back four of Barzagli, Chiellini, Mehdi Benatia and Alexandro.
It's a lot of experience there.
Now, that is still a very, very impressive rear guard. Only Lazio's second trophy since 2009, and given the state that they were in 18 months ago, Simone Inzaghi deserves an awful lot of credit for this trophy. It's going to mean an awful lot to him, as he's so invested in the club. Now, he's got a 57% win ratio in his tenure there so far. That's about the same as Jose Mourinho at Manchester United.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so he is exceeding beyond all expectations at the moment. Juve have now lost their last 2 games, so the club's in absolute crisis. And they've conceded 7 in the process, very uncharacteristic from them. And that's actually more than in the previous 7 matches. So not going through the greatest vein of form, but no doubt they'll bounce back. Can Lazio finish in a Champions League place this season if they maintain that form in Simone Inzaghi? Let us know in the comments below.
The final loser of the week comes from @Billy the Kid, not the famous outlaw, and he says Frank de Boer should be in our losers, and I can kind of see why.
Yes, De Boer had a dreadful start to his stewardship at Palace, losing in his opening fixture to new boys Huddersfield. 3-0.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Now, I didn't think he was a bad manager while at Ajax. Had some success out there. His stock went down at Inter Milan, and if this continues, he's going to struggle for a top job in Europe when he leaves Palace. When? I think it's a matter. Yeah, it's not if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's a little nugget of information for you, Pato. Each of the last 5 Dutch managers have lost their opening Premier League fixture. That's Mullenstein, Van Gaal, Koeman, Advocat and De Boer. Now this doesn't say, it's not a reflection of Dutch managers at large, but I want to know your take on them as they're your fellow countrymen. This current batch of Dutch managers.
I mean, well, at least Van Gaal's achieved things in the past, and so has Advocat, but I mean, they're yesterday's men really, aren't they? Ronald Koeman plays exceptionally boring football. I mean, I hate Ronald Koeman. If you like crosses, Ronald Koeman's going to give them to you. And also, I mean, I'd love Ronald Koeman to sit down and explain to me why he's playing 3 at the back at the moment, because I'm 100% sure that he's doing it because everyone else is doing it. Because his back 3 is not suited to playing it at all. They look like they have no idea what's going on. Frank de Boer, don't rate him at all. The only Dutch manager I really care about is Peter Bos, and I think he's probably taken on a job that is a little bit bigger than him at the moment.
More alarming, back on the topic of De Boer, he's trying to turn Palace into a possession-based side, isn't he?
Yeah.
And they've only just become accustomed to being really defensively sound and functional very much in the Sam Allardyce mould.
Yeah.
So transitioning out of that really quickly may have a very negative effect on them. We may see them lose by some big scorelines early in his Palace career.
But they did have a lot of the ball in this game though, right?
They had 57% of possession and they took 14 shots to Huddersfield's 9 to be fair, but they only had 4 on target in comparison to David Wagner's men who had 6. Now, Mooney was the star of the show, annoyingly, as you've got him in your draft fantasy team. Yes, we have our own private league too. Is he in your fantasy football team that we run on Football Daily?
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Lukaku is.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals, he only had 3 shots. 2 of his efforts obviously coming on target. He completed 1 dribble and won 7 aerial duels. He's a big guy, isn't he? And he strikes me as quite an instinctive finisher.
Yeah.
I think given the time, he may not look the most composed, but particularly his first goal where he's just steered it top right was a lovely take.
Well, he should have scored another goal as well. I mean, he was clean through late on and he dallied for too long, and Timothy Fosu-Mensah came back and made, in fairness, an absolutely sensational tackle. Now, he's 22 years old. He's from Benin. He's an international for his country, and he joined the Terriers this summer from Montpellier for a club record £11.5 million.
Chump change, really.
Well, he looks like a really interesting prospect. Got 11 goals last season in Ligue 1. It's not a huge number, but his stats looked really, really good on what is, frankly, a not great Montpellier side. So it looks pretty exciting. There might be an interesting link up with Aaron Moy, who had a fantastic game, I thought. He made 3 key passes, 4 tackles and 3 interceptions. A real all-round midfielder.
Yeah, he is all action, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fantastic, and he seems absolutely ready to go in that team. Now, 9 of Palace's 14 shots, you said that they outshot Huddersfield, but 9 of those 14 shots came from set pieces, which is a little bit worrying when they're at home and when they have a lot of the ball. What is the point of having all that ball if you can't create stuff in open play? That said, Christian Benteke missed an absolutely colossal chance. The ball gets smashed along the 6-yard box, and Benteke goes to put the little side foot in, straight to his legs.
I should have gone with his head.
Oh yeah, well, he actually had an amazing header save.
Yes, it was a great save.
From the corner.
Fantastic save.
It was destined for the bottom corner, and the keeper just appears out of nowhere like a cat and palms it away. The other worrying thing for Palace is that Paddy van Aanholt, name very similar to mine.
Another serial member of your dream team.
Fantastic player. I love Paddy van Aanholt because every season he gets goals and assists. Seriously, he's an underrated player. In this game, he was Palace's most creative player. He created 4 chances from left. 4 chances from left back. By the way, that's about the same amount that Mesut Ozil and Kevin De Bruyne managed per 90 minutes last season in the Premier League. Wow. Now, by comparison, Andros Townsend and Wilfried Zaha produced 3 chances between them. What does that tell you? It tells you that both those players are and Paddy van Aanholt's great. Anyway, at the end of this game, Palace are second bottom, Huddersfield are second top, and I think we can all agree they'll definitely stay in those places for the rest of the season. Huddersfield will 100% be a Champions League side next year.
I'm really impressed with Huddersfield. I actually don't think they're going to be as big a whipping boys as first assumed.
No, Burnley will.
But who will go down?
Burnley.
Let us know in the comments below. So that was the season opening Euro roundup, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, if we missed anyone out, you can discuss them with me and Pato on Twitter or on Instagram. Pato, what should they do next?
They should stay right here on EuroFootball Daily and check out more of our great videos. Stat Wars the Champions still going on. We're into the second round now. More great fixtures to happen. Check out all of the matchups so far. We've got some fantastic guests.
And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.